try this technique with etch designs. There is a definite chance of things going wrong in this too. Okay, so it looks like she is setting up a solid here. Right, so basically what she just done is she took the design that I created earlier and literally made it into an inlay. In other words, pasted without air inside of a solid. And I think she's typing something out right now, so we're gonna wait for her response. And I did try to get her into the TeamSpeak, but apparently she doesn't have a mic, so we're kind of running with it this way here. Okay, she says that next she wants to set up panels so that when she is drawing lines, they're all the same angle. So she made a selection on the ground and painted it, and now she's lifting that selection up vertically. Now it looks like she offset them just slightly here, so let me see how far over she brung it here. She has a 6x6 square, 27 high, and it's off by 1 voxel this way. I think she's yeah, I think she's typing right now. So if you don't know who Birchstar is the one that literally laid out like every single material in the game and figured out which ones bled and how much it bled. Okay, very, very, like, how can I say this, meticulous work. And she literally formed this Excel spreadsheet that shows you what material bleeds with what material and how much it bleeds with it, and the whole 9 yards. It's pretty freaking crazy. And my gosh, I mean, and she's also really involved in, you know, some of the voxelmancy stuff and that such. So okay, she says that I don't want to accidentally draw over the panels I'm using as guides, so I'll set up the inlay next to it, though I haven't caught up with the very latest ones yet. The next step for this is to stack the inlay to make a block. So it's flush with the ground at the bottom. So literally the height of this top section is with the top of what the inlay is going to be here. So we're looking at it this way. And she's 1 voxel in front. Yeah, she says she hasn't caught up to the latest materials yet. But still, what she did was like freaking impressive as crap, right? So, but what she's done here is she's stacking it like literally in a row like this. And she's going to use this these 2 blocks that she set down as guides for what she's going to be doing next, okay? Okay, she says that I'm doing this the reverse of what I'd thought. This will be an undercut angle on the inlay. The depth of the stack needs to be at least the depth of the angle of the design. Excuse me. The depth of the stack needs to be at least the depth of the angle of the final design. Okay? All right, let's see. So I'm assuming she's going to make some adjustments to her line setting here, or not. Should be drawing lines across the block. And she's made her line tool the same size as her top piece here. Okay, she basically took her line tool, made it the same size, and clicked it. She held shift and clicked, and then was able to manually move it all the way across to the top here. Then she brought it down to the bottom, shift clicked, and then manually is moving it back across this edge here so that it comes all the way down to the end. So that she can actually get this angle put into it like this. And now she's rinse and repeating the process of using the line tool on the top part, holding shift, click, and then adjustment mode to move it over, and then she brings it down to the bottom and rinse and repeats for the bottom piece here. Very interesting technique, you know. It's amazing what you can figure out just by sitting there, kind of like messing around with this and doing that and trying something different, you know. Um, but basically, Birchstar.
Oh my god, it's so much better.
But Birchstar was watching the line tool, you know, cutting the circle at an angle, and um, basically has come up with another way of making angled inlays, which I thought was actually kind of cool, just kind of a different principle.
Hey, starting your stream and I'm late.
Yeah, you're way late, bud. But it's kind of a rinse and repeat. But she's been able to find a new way of doing this whole entire, you know, process for being able to make angled inlays, just because of something else that we had done, which was pretty phenomenal, because I would have never thought of doing inlays like this. So let me make sure I'm reading off what she's saying here. The line tool will always be green when the bottom is in line with the top. Now she's going to rotate the inlay block with the lines so that the angle of the inlay faces south and up. Okay. And she selected that first row, deleted it, moved it down, and you can see she's just deleting that one little section each way, and just shrinks the selection down, drops it, deletes, shrinks it, drops it, deletes. And look how smooth that inlay is coming out. Wow.
That is all kinds of awesome.
That is all kinds of awesome there. Like, seriously. Look how smooth that is. I don't think I've seen a better way of doing this. I really, that is, oh man, that is awesome, Birch. That is freaking killer. Hold up. Wait a minute. I want to try something. Give me a second, Birch. Haha! Fixed. There we go. I just mirrored it, guys. Nothing special. That is awesome. That is wicked. The other trick to know about this is that the line tool will destroy detail that isn't picked out in a different material. Okay. Hold on one second here. I asked her to elaborate on that just a little bit. I'm thinking I understand what she said. Okay. She says that she's checking her templates to see what she has at the moment. It has something to do with the engine, why it does that, Vectors. If you tried to do it in another position, it would literally start doing those deformations where literally parts of it are kind of like popping up and and stuff like that. So this looks familiar, Helani. We're going to be doing stuff like that in a little bit, by the way. Okay. So she says, so for instance, with this shape, if she did an inlay with this and kept all three star shapes painted, different materials, the line tool will preserve the distinct star shapes. Okay. But if it were all painted a single material inside the innermost star shape, it will revert the inner stars to squares. Well, that's kind of interesting. So you basically, if you're doing these inlays, does that mean that you have to do multi-textures? Or does that mean that how can I say this? I'm assuming, okay, this is just me assuming here of what she's saying here. The innermost part of it's going to turn back to squares, and that's if it's a solid. Okay, she says that you need to use different materials for details you want preserved. Gotcha. I think it'd be best to just leave it at that because I could go all day on trying to talk that over. But it's interesting shape you got there. And that material is awesome for it, that moonstone. I do believe so, there, Luke. Just because of the complexity of it. Now, you got to remember, she's talking about taking that whole entire thing and it being an inlay into something else. So all that airspace is actually going to be filled with something else. Okay, so it's just me overthinking things, I guess, But I do believe what she's talking about is, when this is put as an inlay, if it's not on the right rotation, when you go to do the actual, the last part of it, which is the removing part, if it's not in the direction of south, north to south, then if it's in any other direction, it's going to basically just revert those center voxels back to squares, and I think that's what she's trying to say here. Okay, I'm going to reread this here. If I did an inlay with this and kept all three star shapes painted different materials, the line tool will preserve the distinct star shapes. But if it were all painted a single material inside the inside the outermost star shape, it will revert the inner stars to squares. You need to use different materials for details you want preserved. I haven't experimented with it enough, but I was able to use this to fit one set of stairs into an angled wall, but not another one. So there's a certain minimum width of the design that is needed for this trick. And I'm guessing that is the reason why she asked me to make a 10 to 20 voxel inlay. So that is still freaking badass stuff there. I'm sorry. That is wicked stuff. No matter how you look at it. Man. All right. After I asked her, if that's why she asked for a 10 to 20 voxel inlay. Man, I'm fixing to sneeze. Woo! Heart attack. Okay. That is why. Okay. I asked her. That is why you asked for a 10 to 20 voxel inlay, correct? Her response was actually it was more so that she could use an angle that she was more confident about, but still have it be obviously not flat. Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh. That's one of those that you know it's coming, but you don't know when, and you just, come on, let's go. Sorry about that. That is awesome. That is some rickety. It is really cool. That is really cool. So this is what Birch just made. I'm going to kind of show this off again here. Basically, before the show, she asked me to make a 10 to 20 voxel inlay. Okay, so I just made these letters. Made all the letters in squares. Selected, stacked it, smoothed the whole entire thing down. Did some little tinkering to get it all the right, sizing and all that kind of good stuff. And she basically took that and inlaid it into this solid right here, okay? And from this, she rotated it up onto the side, like so, and basically just stacked it backwards like this. And then she set up her angle onto the side of it here and here, so that she could literally take her line tool like this, bring it up to where it was big enough, like this. She held down shift, and then she was able to move it back and forth like this so she could line it up. And that was the bottom half. And you can see I've got that freedom now. And then she brought it up here to the top, and I've shrunk my line tool down a little bit here, but she put it on the top, did the same thing. Hold down shift and click, so she went into adjustment mode. And then she brought that down to the other end and rinse and repeated all the way down the length of it. And after she got that done, she basically copied this whole entire section and dropped it down over here. And she still had all this excess right here, and with it laying down on the ground, she had to face it into the south direction. I don't know if you can't see it because my big head's in the way here. Give me a second here, and so you can see this. I'll kind of hide my face here. You can see my my compass here. and the direction that it's actually facing is down towards the south. The actual slope is toward the south. And with that slope being down to the south, she literally procedurally grabbed the top, deleted the top piece, shrunk it, dropped it, deleted, shrunk it, dropped it, deleted, and just worked her way down, all the way down through the length of it to remove all that excess. But you see how clean this thing came out. Very, very, very clean here.